Back again for another video. On today's topic, we'll be talking about why the wild BW chooses simps to engage in their own projection. I mean, this should be pretty much, I think, straightforward, but I always say that it's straightforward. And then it ends up being like a 30-minute video. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how interested you guys are in the topics that I'm presenting here this week. Not to say that the views don't represent that at all to me, but rather I want to hear what you guys have to say about these things. Nobody needs to be shy here. But anyways, like I said, this should be pretty straightforward. I mean, if you really pay attention to majority of how the wild BW projects her reality, it is from an insecure state. It is a state of mind where she believes that she's not worthy of certain things, that she's not capable of certain things. It comes from the same genre of things that come from a poverty consciousness, you know, that come from low self-esteem, that comes from low ability to actualize, no willpower a lot, you know. But once again, she projects other things though, right? But all this stuff comes out in her projection as well. This is why you see the grandiose things, you know, the things that insinuate kind of a fake it till you make it kind of thing. You know, she's projecting that she believes herself to be greater than what she actually is, while at the same time simultaneously relaying that by just projection of grandiosity, it is simply signifying that she's insecure about herself. Because let's face it, you know, if we were to put the emotions in colors, if we were to put the way one views themselves in colors, if we were to put insecurity as blue, for instance, even if she projected herself sitting on $1 million, it would still be projected in blue. Even if she projected herself as being married, it will still be projected in blue. Because she feels that she doesn't internally deserve any of these things because she didn't work for them. Her pride is what allowed her to project such things that are not, that are very contrary to the internal workings of her, the way she views herself in the world. She views things, once again, from an insecure stance and a frightening stance, meaning that she's afraid of these things. I've had women tell me a few times, you know, I've just actually recently asked my submissive, I said to her, I said, hey, I want you to tell me something, and I'm not saying I don't understand, but I want you to give me your point of view on these things. And I'm going to paraphrase what she said, of course, but she said, I asked her, why is it that women say to men? I was like, because I've been told this several times, and I have my thoughts, of course, but I was wondering why when a woman, you know, is approached with a man, you know, she starts to interact with a man, at some point she says, I don't feel like I deserve you. And she began to answer, and the answers were about the same as what I'm saying here, is that the woman didn't internally believe that she was a good enough person to be around such a man. Because once again, my projection is usually always stronger because I have to be. It has to be. I'm the leader here, you know, so my projection has to be stronger than hers. She's encapsulated in the reality that I'm projecting. And, you know, she contributes to that with her own projection as well. But for the most part, this is a one-show screening here, right? But the reason why a lot of the women who choose simps choose them It's because they understand that they can project past the simp's projection of self, meaning that they can project themselves as being worthy of those types of men, or more worthy than those types of men. This is not a challenge to them. It does not envelop them in a reality. For again, they are enveloped, the simp is enveloped in the woman's reality, and that's what usually happens. They tend to only look for men who will become a part of their circus, you know. Because that's essentially what it is. It's a circus, it's a sideshow of a reality. And a woman who is insecure about the world that she projects in, the reality that she's projected, she's not going to feel any more secure if she's not in charge of the projection. So she chooses men who are lesser than who she believes to be lesser than who she is. I mean, but let's face it, honestly, if a woman can project past your own reality, then she's probably greater in the reality projecting than you are. And that doesn't necessarily mean that she's greater than you are. It's just that you are allowing her to project through your own consciousness. She's using you as an apparatus to forward position how she sees the world. This happens a lot. You know, I was actually in a relationship where I was dealing with a woman who was doing such a thing. This is the reason why and it wasn't because I was a simp or anything like that. It was because I didn't understand what I was dealing with. I talk about my ex a few times, who has borderline personality disorder. They are very great illusionists. They're very great at gaslighting. They're very great at manipulating what you perceive the reality to be. And this gives them the ability to overshadow your own ability to see and recognize the reality for what you believe it to be. And I noticed that this was happening for several years, and it got to a point where it started to be a very dangerous thing. And I don't mean like dangerous as in you know, somebody was going to lose a job or something, or like, I mean, like, people's safety was becoming at risk because of this. So I had to figure out a way in order to project past her own illusion so that I can encapsulate her back into mine. And that's exactly what I did eventually. But this goes to show that most women, they desire to always lord over men, especially women who are insecure and afraid. When you're insecure and afraid of something, you want to grip onto the closest thing possible and hold it and manipulate it in the way that you see fit in order to make yourself feel secure. For instance, you ever see those videos of those people on that slingshot ride, where it pops people in the air about 150 feet or something like that? When they first get rocketed off, and even during the bouncing of them through the air, when you watch the video, the people who are really afraid are holding on for dear life. They are gripping. They are holding on strong and tightly because they feel insecure and afraid. And this is no different than a woman's projection. The women who are insecure and afraid, they're going to hold tightly and strongly to anything that they can, including their men, that gives them some sense of security. But they don't do this in the way where it's actually like they're holding tight to their men, as in, this is my man, he got my back. They're doing this as in, like I said, they're trying to manipulate this person into something that makes them feel secure. That's what the whole gripping and the grabbing and the pulling is about. It's not about anything else other than that. I mean, while yes, this may be a very immature thing, because a very mature woman is confident in her choice, and she knows how to let go. She knows how to be led, and she is very she stands by her decision of the selection of men that she has. But one could say the same about the wild BW, one could say that she purposely picked this individual because she knew that it was going to elicit a certain type of relationship in which she was confident about. It's true that she gets the man that she wants. I made plenty of videos about this, about how if you can't deal with a real man, simps it is. I've said this sentiment plenty of times over the years that I've been doing these videos, that if a woman can't handle, or she does not have the tools to handle, or the currency to pay for the type of man that she actually needs in her life, she has to downgrade. And unfortunately, most women are bottom of the barrel and they can only handle simps. But she's confident in her choice. She's confident that she's picked a man that she can control, that she can project over. But what it still ultimately brings her to is that she cannot escape the reality that she is projecting herself into, that she is reacting to. She cannot escape that, because so long as she is picking men who have no ability to overcast her ability to project fear, anxiety, depression into her life, the reality that she's projecting, then she is always going to be a victim of that, no matter how insecurely, and I do mean insecurely because it's a false sense of security, that just because you got a man who will help you project your false reality and your reality where you are faking it till you make it, it doesn't bring you any further away from being insecure and afraid. You're still that. Unfortunately for you, that is becoming, for majority of wild BWs, that has become the normality for them, to be afraid and insecure, to be uncertain, to be chaotic. They don't know what structure looks like. They don't understand what the projection of consistency looks like. They have no idea. And then when they have been doing this and they have been encapsulated in this for many, many years of their own insecure and projections of frightenness, when they actually run into a man who is able to project a vision, a reality, a circumstance, a structure that elicits harmony, growth, and prosperity into their lives, over their lives, they want to destroy the projector. This is not the movie that I paid money to see. I want to see the one where I'm afraid all the time and insecure all the time. That is the one I know very well. Get this junk out of here, right? And that's the truth of it. That's the truth of it. Remember that women oftentimes say that they feel lost in relationships. They feel like they have lost themselves in relationships. This is because they have become enveloped in this man's reality, in his ability to project past that woman's existence, meaning that she is not what's on the screen. She is an actor in what's on the screen, meaning that she is a part of the overall environment that this man is projecting. She feels lost in that because she is not the star of this movie, right? And that's the thing of it. That's the reason why they pick simps, is because they will be the star of the movie. But the thing of it is, once again, they're just shooting themselves in the foot, because no matter how many times they're the star of the movie, they cannot project anything less than insecurity and frightenedness. It sucks. It sucks. But this is what they're used to. And I don't fight them. I don't fight them at all. If you want to simp, go right ahead. I think I actually have dealt with plenty of women where I told them that I think your best option is to leave me alone and go find you a simp. And I said this with all honesty. I didn't say this with a condescending tone. I didn't say it with any type of maliciousness at all. I've said it several times. and I mean this wholeheartedly, that I think majority of women will be better off with simps because they have no ability to let go. Because that is one key factor in being a woman who is provided for, and of being a woman who is cared for, is that you have to let go. You have to get out the driver's seat of projection. And until you are able to do that, you are also going to be constantly the victim of your own projections. And then you're going to point fingers at everyone else that you cast the stars in your own movie. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Honestly, I think this is starting to be a cognitive thing. I used to think that it was an unconscious thing, but I think for a lot of women, it is turning very conscious. It's turning very cognitive. It's turning very purposely, because I think that they want to escape having to blame themselves and hold themselves accountable, which is the constant cycle of non-growth, of course, right? But I think it's also so that they are never the ones to blame for their own reality. So they always have someone else to point at. That's the reason why they keep picking simps, because they don't want to take accountability. You would think the other way would be around. If you got a man, like on the surface, if you got a man who could project past your own projection and you fell into his structure, you fell into his way of living, his way of existence, that you wouldn't have no accountability, right? But it's actually the other way around. We know this, right? Because men of quality hold women accountable for the things that they do. But it is also true that men of no quality or low quality do not hold these women accountable. So think about it like this: if a man of quality is holding a woman accountable, do you think she has the time to hold him accountable, or she has the authority to hold him accountable? Like, this is a one-way street, accountability. A lot of times in regards to leadership, right? Meaning that there is no one who holds the leader more accountable than the leader holds the followers, right? The only person that the leader holds the leader accountable is the one who the leader submits to. And that's usually a high authority. I mean, yes, as a leader myself, I have taken critiques from those who have followed me, but this is only constructive criticism. This isn't me paying any consequences per se for them telling me, well, since you didn't, this is what's going to happen. No, none of that goes on. I correct myself. There's no need for you to all you need to do is point out some things where I may be lacking on, and then we'll go from there. But you're the one who actually needs to suffer the punishment, because you don't even hold yourself accountable. You don't even put yourself under the right level of accountability that is necessary for your own growth. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a job, right? But the reason why they pick these simps who they project over is because they can always point to them. They're nothing but mascots, pretty much, punching dummies, right? Because what happens is that they put these men so-called out front, because we see it all the time. I know you guys see it, where they say, oh yeah, my man is in charge. My man does this. My man does this. I remember I was on the live stream. I was watching a live stream the other day. I don't remember what channel it was, but it was with a really sassy chick, and her dude was in there throwing donations to the channel, and she was like, well, you see, my man, we do like this. But I'm thinking, like, why would he do that? Why would he do that? What? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you tie, and it was a super chat, right? So why would you tie your money up with Google? So essentially you paying Google just to look good in front of all these people for a chick that you probably are sitting next to. That doesn't make any sense to me. That says to me that he is in her projection, that he is not actually the one who's in charge there. He's just the mascot, right? That's when you start to see really irrational things that men wouldn't normally do, especially if you know yourself to be a leader and you witnessed another man doing something that is highly irrational. It's probably because she is projecting through him. That's the reason why his movements look all crazy, because it's not him who's running the projection. He's just facilitating it, right? What it looks like is stuff like that. He's a simp. That's the truth of it. And I don't care about all these women talking about, oh, my man is this, my man is that, my man is the most masculine. Of course you're going to say that to him. If I, as a person, want to keep someone in a position of subjugation, why would I tell them that they're not free? Simply put, why would I tell them that? I would tell them everything I needed to tell them to keep them in the position that keeps them subjugated, whether it be something of a positive affirmation or not. It doesn't matter. As long as I get them where I need to get them, I'll say what I need to say. And that's essentially how women act as well. They'll tell you, yes, you're doing a great job, baby, when in reality, you're doing nothing but fueling their projection. You're facilitating their projection. You're a simp. You're an actor in her movie. That's all you are. And you know this. You know this. I mean, you can be propped up all you want. This is my man. He's strong. You know, he takes care of all the bills, and, you know, he does this and he does this. When in all actuality, she's probably the one who wears the pants at the house, because when the cameras go off, we all know the truth, right? We know exactly what's going on with such a woman who is masculine, who is very wild, right? The wild BW she is, who is very forthcoming in how she runs her household. I mean, another cue for this is how you can see it is that there's a woman who speaks about how her household is run before deferring to her man when her man is present. You know, it looks like, so somebody might ask, so how do you guys handle your children at home? And before the man can even crack his face to utter a word, she has out a whole sentence of that on that very topic. That's how that looks. You know, just stuff like this. So what do you guys do for a business? She's the first one out. When your woman has more mouth than you in your relationship about your relationship, you might want to check that. You know what I'm saying? You get what I mean? You might want to check that a little bit, dog, because she's probably using you as a projector. Because if she's the leader in the relationship, the leaders are the ones who speak for the group, right? You know, when someone comes to a group of people who is an outside authority, right? And they say, let me talk to the person, you know, let me talk to someone who can tell me what's going on here. They usually send out somebody who's in charge. They don't send out, you know what I'm saying? They don't send out just anybody, right? But yeah, this is the reason why she picks the simps, because she's insecure and she's afraid, and she's just looking for someone who she can reverberate that through and echo that through and get that longitudinal meshes out, you know. But anyways, like, comment, and share. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Patreon. But until next time, this has been a Wolf in Beta Clothes. May you have a good day, and of course, peace be with you.